Welcome to SoulScripture. If this message has reached you, chosen one, it's not by accident. This is a spiritual appointment, a moment marked by divine orchestration. What you're about to hear is not just encouraging, it is sacred, because something monumental just shifted in the heavens on your behalf. A weight you've carried silently for years has now been lifted not by your own hands, but by the hand of the Almighty. From this moment forward, it is no longer your burden to provide, to grind, to hustle, just to survive. God has officially taken over the stewardship of your wealth. You see, the moment you were marked as chosen, a new contract was signed in the spiritual realm, a covenant older than time, now activated in your favor. This isn't about luck, and it's not about effort. It's about divine alignment. Your responsibility was never to carry the whole load. Your task was obedience, trust, and walking the narrow path. But now, God is stepping in to fulfill what He promised long ago, that He would provide exceedingly and abundantly above all you could ask or imagine. You've spent seasons in silence, watching others rise, wondering when it would be your turn. You've planted in dry places, fasted when no one knew, and cried prayers soaked in faith. Heaven heard you, and now the tide has turned. You are stepping out of the wilderness and into divine territory. The battle for your prosperity is no longer yours, it's the Lord's. You're not just being rescued from debt or survival mode, you're being elevated to steward divine wealth that has been held in reserve for such a time as this. Understand this: you are not here to chase money. You are here to walk in covenant. And in that covenant, God becomes the provider, the strategist, the multiplier. Your new financial journey will not be built on hustle, but on heaven's strategy. There is peace in this shift, peace in knowing that your future is no longer up for negotiation. It's sealed. Let that truth anchor you today. God has taken over. The pressure is lifting. The air is changing. You're not just entering abundance, you are becoming the evidence that abundance follows obedience. You are a walking testimony that the kingdom funds its chosen vessels. The world may not understand it yet, but your spirit already knows. This was the turning point. Chosen one. What you're now walking into is more than provision, it's a sacred covenant of overflow. This isn't a fleeting blessing or a lucky moment. It's a divine agreement, sealed by the Most High. When God takes responsibility for your wealth, He doesn't just meet your needs, He establishes a river of continuous increase that cannot be blocked by human hands. This covenant is ancient. It echoes from the days of Abraham, who was promised descendants like the stars and a land flowing with milk and honey, not because he was perfect, but because he obeyed. You too have been tested. You too have waited in dry seasons. But God has counted your faith as righteousness, and now He honors His end of the promise. The spiritual realm has recognized your endurance. What the enemy meant to delay, heaven has just released. And the key difference now: your blessings no longer rely on your effort. They flow from God's unbreakable vow. Just as He provided manna in the wilderness and water from a rock, He will provide in ways that break logic, tradition, and timing. You are not just blessed, you are in covenant. But a covenant isn't one-sided. This overflow comes with sacred instructions. Remain aligned, remain faithful, and remain expectant. When God becomes the source, you must honor the stream. That means no more small thinking, no more settling. You've outgrown survival. Understand this: your wealth is no longer just for you. The covenant God has established is generational. your children, your legacy, your name. It's all wrapped into this divine arrangement. You are part of heaven's economy now, and that currency is eternal. Chosen one. The windows of heaven are opening not because you begged for it, but because God has declared it. Let that wash over you. This isn't a maybe, it's a manifest moment. It's happening because the promise was already written in your spiritual DNA before you took your first breath. Your current reality may not fully reflect it yet, but don't mistake delay for denial. Heaven is never late. The moment your mindset shifts from lack to legacy, the covenant becomes activated. That moment is now. You're not chasing provision anymore. You're walking in promise. And promises backed by God's character can't be broken. You're not hoping it happens. You're living as if it already has, because in the unseen realm, it has. Welcome to the covenant of overflow. You didn't just earn this. You inherited it. Chosen one. There comes a moment when the old garments no longer fit, when the identity of struggle must be laid to rest. This is that moment for you. You've worn survival like armor for years, but now the Spirit is telling you, lay it down. The lack, the worry, the sleepless nights trying to make ends meet, those were part of the wilderness. But they're not your permanent address. You've entered a divine timeline where struggling is no longer your spiritual posture. And if you're still holding on to it, it's only out of habit, not design. You've been conditioned by systems, patterns, and people who made you believe that to be holy is to suffer and to struggle is to prove your worth. But God is rewriting your narrative. You are not here to prove yourself through pain. You are here to reflect the glory of divine provision. Let this be clear. Your time in lack was a classroom, not a calling. God used it to shape you, not to keep you. That valley wasn't punishment, it was preparation. But now, He's calling you out. Not everyone will understand it. Some will say, you've changed. And you have, because elevation always demands a release of the former. The reason your spirit feels restless lately isn't because you're lost. It's because heaven is nudging you to upgrade your identity. You are not the struggler anymore. You're not the one barely getting by. You are the chosen vessel of abundance, built to receive, to multiply, and to overflow. The enemy would love to keep you in a cycle of survival, tied to jobs that drain you, relationships that diminish you, systems that enslave you. But God is breaking that loop. This new chapter will not be written in the language of lack. It will be composed with the ink of increase. Do you feel it? That inner shift where stress is being replaced with serenity. That's the evidence. When your heart starts trusting before your eyes can see it, heaven responds with acceleration. Divine wealth doesn't follow the calendar of man. It follows the frequency of your faith. Chosen one. Release the fear of never having enough. It's no longer yours to carry. Your identity is not in the struggle, it's in the solution. And God is your solution. Every dollar, every opportunity, every connection you thought you had to grind for, watch it now chase you. You are no longer surviving. You are ascending. Chosen one. In this new era of your life, trust becomes your greatest currency. The kind of trust that doesn't waver when the numbers don't add up. The kind of trust that refuses to panic when the doors haven't yet opened. This trust isn't rooted in logic, it's anchored in the knowing that God has already gone before you. Let's be clear. Financial abundance is not about chasing paper, it's about standing in purpose while heaven funds the mission. Your confidence can no longer come from what's in your bank account. It must come from the one who owns the cattle on 1,000 hills. The Creator who split the Red Sea is the same. One who can split open doors of opportunity on your behalf. You're not walking by sight anymore. You're walking by revelation. That means even when the ground beneath you feels uncertain, your steps are ordered. Even when it seems like there's nothing coming in, heaven is making deposits behind the scenes. Think of the trust a child has when they're held in their father's arms. That child doesn't question how the bills are paid, where the food will come from, or whether there's enough. They rest, because they know who carries them. That is the posture God is inviting you into, no childishness, but childlike faith. And this trust, it multiplies. The more you rest in divine timing, the more God shows up with precision, not just provision, but precision. Resources that arrive not a moment too early or too late, but exactly when you need them. That's the kind of orchestration only God can perform. You've been trained by the world to believe you must grind relentlessly to earn peace. But the kingdom works differently. In the kingdom, peace comes first, and provision follows. When you stop overworking and start over-trusting, you'll see how little effort it takes when heaven is on your side. This trust won't just change your finances, it will rewire your nervous system. It will remove the anxious thoughts that kept you awake at night. It will give you the freedom to dream again, because you're no longer trying to be your own provider. Chosen one. It's not about giving up action, it's about releasing control. Faith isn't passive, it's powerful. It's walking forward, not with clenched fists, but with open hands. And in those hands, God place blessings tailor-made for your journey. You are stepping into a life where peace becomes your signal, trust becomes your fuel, and miracles become your norm. Let the world worry about outcomes. You're walking in divine confidence. You know who holds your future, and that's enough. Chosen one. To imagine a river so vast, so constant, that no matter how much is drawn from it, it never runs dry. That is what divine provision looks like when God becomes your source. It's not a limited paycheck or a fluctuating market. It is a supernatural flow straight from heaven, crafted with your destiny in mind. This river doesn't begin with money, it begins with alignment. Alignment with your purpose, with your calling, with your Creator. When you are in that flow, the resources don't trickle, they pour. And they pour not because of what you've done, but because of who you are to God. This is not prosperity built on pressure. This is wealth born from worship. This river is spiritual in nature. It doesn't respond to fear, to deadlines, or to stress. It responds to faith. It responds to surrender. It is released when you stop begging and start believing. Let me speak this into your spirit. You are no longer standing at the edge, thirsting for breakthrough. You are being carried by the current of heaven's provision. It will touch your finances. Yes, but it will also saturate your health, your relationships, your peace, your clarity, and your purpose. This is holistic abundance. But understand this, rivers flow best when they are unobstructed. So, anything in your life that's blocking the current, doubt, bitterness, toxic attachments, it must be cleared. Because this isn't just about receiving, it's about becoming a vessel where blessings pass through you to reach others. Think of Elijah and the widow. Her jar of oil didn't run out because she was special. It didn't run out because she hoarded it. It stayed full because she poured it. That's how the divine river works. It responds to faith in motion. As long as you're obedient to pour, God promises to refill. Chosen one. You are being positioned not beside the river, but in it. And it's not a quiet stream. It's a rushing force of favor that will carry you further than your planning ever could. You're not being invited to wade ankle deep. You're being called to dive in fulito, trust the flow. The currency of the kingdom is not effort, it's alignment. And the more aligned you are, the more that river opens up. People will look at your life and wonder how things are unfolding so quickly. They won't understand that heaven's river doesn't flow by the rules of this world. Step deeper. Go all in. Let go of the shore. The current won't drown you, it will deliver you. You're not here to chase the river. You are the river. Chosen one. Now that you've entered the river of divine wealth, you must understand this truth deeply. God doesn't bless your hustle. He blesses your obedience. In this new season, rest is not laziness, it's a weapon. Obedience is not passive, it's power. Your assignment is no longer to exhaust yourself chasing provision. Your assignment is to align, to listen, and to flow. You've been taught that more hours equals more income, but in the spiritual economy, more alignment equals more access. The kingdom doesn't run on burnout, it runs on divine timing. And when God becomes responsible for your wealth, He leads you to green pastures, not treadmills. This is your call to rested obedience, not quitting, but trusting, not pushing, but flowing. It's about doing only what heaven has sanctioned and letting the rest fall away. When you move from striving to surrender, you make room for supernatural acceleration. Things you used to fight for now find you. Remember the story of Peter fishing all night, exhausted, empty-handed, ready to give up. But Jesus told him to cast the net one more time, in a different direction, and the catch was so great, the nets began to break. That's the power of aligned action. One moment of obedience outweighed a night of effort. Chosen one. This is your cast again season, but only where He tells you to cast. Let go of doing what worked for others. You're not here to duplicate hustle models, you're here to demonstrate heaven's model. And heaven's model is this: rest. Listen. Move. Receive. It will feel strange at first. The world will call it irresponsible, but heaven calls it faith. And while they scramble for scraps, you will feast on miracles. Because when God is your source, no man can cut off your supply. Your job is no longer your provision. Your obedience is rate. God is not glorified when you're burned out. He is glorified when you're flourishing, when you're peaceful, provided for, and pouring into others without depletion. That is the rhythm of rest. It multiplies you instead of draining you. So now, say this with your spirit: I release the lie that I must strive for my blessing. I trust the one who orders my steps. This is your daily mantra, your mental detox, your spiritual positioning. You're not lazy for resting, you're wise for trusting. And in this wisdom, God will open doors you could never force open. He will make a way where there was no road. Not because you earned it, but because you aligned with it. Rest is the new revolution, and obedience is your strategy. Chosen one. As you step deeper into this divine wealth and rested obedience, something inevitable begins to happen. Others will notice. Those who once overlooked you, mocked your journey, or doubted your calling will now see the undeniable evidence of God's hand on your life. And let this be known: Their opinions were never required for your elevation. You see, when God blesses you openly, it's not to boast, it's to broadcast His faithfulness. Your life becomes a living message, written not in ink, but in abundance. And that message says, this is what happens when the chosen walk in obedience. Your breakthrough will silence rooms, not with arrogance, but with awe. Don't be surprised when people start asking how you did it. Some will come with curiosity, others with criticism, and some with concealed envy. But your response is simple: God did it. Asterisk. Because when you couldn't make ends meet, He made a way. When they laughed at your obedience, He honored your surrender. You are now the proof that faith works. But be careful, success is a spotlight, and not everyone claps in the light. Some will try to rewrite your story, diminish your testimony, or claim you got lucky. Ignore the noise. Your favor doesn't need defending. When God elevates you, He also protects the position. You don't owe anyone an explanation for the blessings He's pouring out. Look at Joseph, mocked by his brothers, sold into slavery, forgotten in prison. But when God's time arrived, no one could stop his rise. And when famine hit, those same brothers came seeking help. That's the cycle of divine reversal. You were once the rejected, but now you are the resource. Chosen one. Your wealth is not just for comfort, it's for credibility. It tells the world that God still keeps His promises, that He still raises up the unlikely, the underestimated, the overlooked. You are not wealthy just to live well, you are wealthy to witness well. Every dollar, every miracle, every door opened is a declaration. The Lord provides for His own. Let them talk. Let them speculate. Your fruit will speak louder than their opinions. And those who once dismissed you will have no choice but to respect what God is doing through you. This is not just personal elevation. This is public validation. And not for your ego, but for God's glory. Chosen one. Your success is not a mistake. It is a mirror reflecting the face of a faithful Father who honors obedience with overflow. Chosen one. You must now understand, the wealth you're receiving is not rando. It's a trust, a sacred endowment for a sacred purpose. God doesn't pour into empty vessels just to fill them. He pours into those ready to pour out. This is where your divine assignment and your abundance collide. Your prosperity isn't just personal, it's prophetic. You are being equipped not just to live comfortably, but to operate powerfully. Your resources are the tools, not the prize. The real prize is impact, legacy, kingdom advancement. Think of Esther. Her position in the palace wasn't just about luxury, it was about liberation. She was elevated so she could intercede for her people. That same blueprint rests on you. Your wealth isn't a trophy, it's a tool to build, to free, to heal, to restore. What's coming into your hands is meant to break chains, not just pay bills. It's meant to fund visions, not just vacations. You are the one God is trusting to steward resources that shift nations, even if it starts with just shifting your family. And yes, it will be tempting to hold tight, to protect and preserve. But in the kingdom, the more you release, the more you receive. It's the divine law of overflow. God gives seed to the sower, not the saver. And you, chosen one, are being called to sow in strategic, Spirit-led ways. You will be nudged to support missions, to fund ideas, to rescue others the way you once needed. Rescue. Don't question the prompting, follow it. Because when God knows He can move wealth through you, He will never stop sending it to you. There is a remnant rising, and you are part of it. A generation of chosen ones who understand that true wealth doesn't stop in their pockets, it flows into purpose. You are not a collector of riches, you are a conductor of divine solutions. And with that calling comes responsibility. You will need discernment. Not every opportunity is divine. Not every door is your assignment. Ask God to show you where the soil is fertile. And where the soil is false, ask Him to reveal what to fund, who to help, and when to move. But never doubt this, you were not chosen to be comfortable. You were chosen to be impactful. Your hands will build what others only dreamed of. Your giving will be bold. Not because you have so much, but because you trust the source. This is your season to be blessed too. Bless. Don't shrink back from it. Step into it. Wear your wealth like a mantle, not of pride, but of purpose. Because in the hands of a chosen one, money becomes a ministry. Chosen one. This divine wealth is not just for today, it's inheritance level. What you are receiving now is not meant to end with you. It is meant to ripple forward through generations, becoming a foundation for those who will rise behind you. This isn't just personal blessing, it's legacy building. You are not the end point. You are the blueprint. Many of us come from generations of lack, fear, struggle, survival. But in you, the cycle ends, and a new one begins. Through you, God is birthing a bloodline that will know abundance, not anxiety, purpose, not poverty. You are the one He anointed to break generational curses and build generational wealth, not just in the natural, but in the spiritual. This wealth you're receiving, it carries weight, not burden, but meaning. It's meant to echo beyond your life. Your children and your children's children will walk on paths you've paved through your obedience. They will drink from wells you dug in prayer, in faith, in tears, and they will call you blessed, not because you left behind material things, but because you left behind a map. The remnant is rising and you are part of it. A holy few chosen to carry the weight of glory and stewardship into this new era. The Lord is not just pouring wealth into your hands. He's rewriting your family's story. Where there was dysfunction, He's planting vision. Where there was lack, He's planting legacy. But hear this, legacy is not just what you build, it's who you become. You're not just handing down assets. You're handing down access. Access to faith, to favor, to kingdom authority. Every decision you make in this season is laying spiritual bricks for the house your lineage will live in. And yes, it will cost you. It will cost comfort, convenience, and sometimes companionship. But what God is giving you in exchange is eternal impact. Your name will be mentioned in rooms your feet never entered. Your prayers will protect people you'll never meet. That is legacy. Don't play small. Don't hoard what's meant to multiply. Let God use you to set the foundation straight. The enemy thought your family line would stay in lack forever, but he didn't count on you. You are the bloodline breaker, the legacy launcher, the one heaven trusted to receive what others rejected. Chosen one. Wealth is not your goal, it is your inheritance. You don't need to chase it. You were born into it. And now, it's your time to walk in it with your eyes on heaven, your hands open wide, and your spirit ready to receive what no generation before you could even imagine. Chosen one. The river has begun to flow. And now it's time to live in the current, not as a guest, but as a rightful heir. This is not a season you're passing through. It's the dimension you've been called to dwell in, a realm where miracles are normal. Provision is expected, and overflow is simply part of your rhythm. You've spent years preparing your spirit for this moment. Now, heaven is responding with confirmation. Doors will open without your knocking. Resources will appear before you can name the need. This is divine wealth in motion, not just for your survival, but for your expansion. Let this truth anchor your soul. You were never created to live in lack. God didn't knit you together with vision, only to abandon you in scarcity. Your dreams were seeded by heaven, and heaven is now funding what it planted. The wait wasn't punishment, it was preparation. You are not behind. You are on schedule with eternity. As you embrace this flow, you will feel lighter. That weight you carried, it's already being lifted. That anxiety about tomorrow, it's dissolving in the warmth of God's presence. Every step you take from here on out is not just a move forward, it's a step deeper into your calling. And now, receive this divine confirmation. You are not cursed. You are chosen. You are not broke. You are backed by heaven. You are not late. You are rising right on time. You are not forgotten. You are being funded. You are not striving. You are flowing. Breathe it in. Let it settle in your bones. This is your inheritance, cenot earned, but received, not forced, but activated. Every miracle you're about to witness is a whisper from God saying, asterisk, I've got you. And so, chosen one. As we close this divine message, know this, your faith has positioned you. Your obedience has unlocked you. And your identity is now your supply line. Now go build what others feared to attempt. Give like you've already received. Live as the blueprint. And let the supernatural be your new standard. You've crossed over. This isn't hope. It's happening. And just when they think they've seen the fullness of your blessing, they haven't seen anything yet.